Good afternoon, Silver Silkers and hopeful newbies of the Silver Silk world. My name is Nilay Patel. I'm the owner, designer, and educator at SilverSilk and more. And it is my pleasure to bring you guys, and hopefully we are getting some folks over from the Great Bead Extravaganza group as well, since today is our takeover day. We'll be making a bracelet together, and this is going to be a fabulous, easy, super duper fantastic project. I cannot wait to get started. It's quite easy to put together, and I don't know, we get to use a pipe chain, so it's going to be super sparkly because it's a different type of pipe chain, which I'll get into in a minute. And then some really fun beads that are, if you picked up a kit, you're not going to get the same beads in every single with kit to kit, I guess. So you're going to be getting your own special mix, and it's all going to be embellished with this cool little Silkies Charm that you also got in your kit. Now, sadly, the kits are all sold out, but you can still use your own materials plus a few extra things that I'll show you during this tutorial. And before we get started, if you're over on YouTube, please do like and subscribe to my channel. And while we are tuning in, I'm just going to say hi to a few people. Hi, Jennifer Miller. Yes, she is over anxious for this project. One of her faves for the week. I think it's one of my favorite, although I say that about all my projects, but they're all kind of my favorite. But this one I think is going to be completely a pure joy to put together as well. Bonnie is saying good morning from Hawaii. Good morning to you, friend. Kind of my noontime here, actually. I'm getting into my lunch hour here shortly, so that'll be good to roll on with the day with. Miss Joan is here representing SilverSilk. So if you guys have any questions, let us know, and Joan will do her best to either answer directly within the chat or bring it to my attention in the video. Hi, Sherry. Sherry Buitt is here. Miss Patty Perkins. I don't think I could have a class without you ladies. Miss Janet Weber and Pamela from Florida is here. Hi, Pamela. Stephanie Howard, always tuning in. I love it. Stephanie, I hope you're doing really well and staying chill in this hot summer so far. So hi, Joyce Trowbridge. Always lovely to see your name pop into. And Marianne Doy is here, watching over from YouTube on a large screen, which can be a little scary because it's all my face right now. But I think once once it gets to my hands, it'll be better. Well, as you're tuning in, just give us a quick little shout out and tell us hello. And I'm gonna flash a quick picture of the project today. And we'll just go ahead and get right into it because I am anxious to get to it. This is the finished prototype for the project. And within your kit, you don't necessarily just get enough materials to make one bracelet. You got 10 coils of memory wire, so you can cut it up however you want to. Whether you want to make a single strand bracelet all the way to a giant cuff like this one is totally up to you. It just depends on how much you want to cut off and, work, and how you want to style it and how you want to wear it. So in this case, I have a coil that looks like it's 2 coils, and then the last 2 pieces kind of connect it all together. So really, I would say there's probably about 3 coils on this, which is plenty to get a pretty good sized bracelet. And then just a nice little assortment of beads down here, which I'll kind of spill out and show you. Also within those kits that you guys picked up, if you're lucky enough to get one, you got 2 charms, and then you got 2 little bears. Because this is the Eclectic Earth bracelet, I don't think I could go on without my little collectible bears. Aren't they just adorable, though? I love them. I went ahead and wire wrapped both of them because you get head pins in your kit for each of the bears. But I just made a little wire wrapped eye pin on mine there. So that's ready to be attached later on, however you want to attach it. And then let's spill out our beads. And then I'm going to talk about the pipe chain because that is a very special component of this whole piece. That's what's going to really bring this whole thing together. you got a giant bag of beads in your kit. And so if you want to make this project on your own, you don't have to have the kit to do it. You could do it with your own stuff. So I would gather up all of those remnant bits and beads and components that sort of had the same color story. So by that I mean I was going for bronze, greens, and grays for this particular project. So what I did was I grabbed those beads from my stash, and I found, for me, because I was making kits, a giant bucket, and I sort of just threw them all in there and mixed it up and kept adding and kind of tailoring to what I wanted. And when the mix felt right is when I stopped, right? So I could have kept going, but I didn't because I wanted to just have the perfect palette put together. So I got the palette that I wanted, and I think you guys can do that too. If you have some sort of a small bucket and you just started to add in those colored beads together, you'd be surprised at what you can make with just your leftovers. As far as a mix goes, I suppose. So yeah, I put this together, and we're going to be using these components to make our second bracelet. Now, let's talk about the pipe item that I started carrying in my SilverSilk store and my line of SilverSilk. This is a Pearlesque chain, the one for today's project, but I just carry the regular chains, which are named after gemstones. So I've got my basic purples and blues and green, let's see, bronzite, which is the color of this minus its iridescent glow. But I wanted folks to have an opportunity, if they loved this color, to grab it from the store. So what I did was this morning, I got my act together, and I went ahead and threw this particular pipe chain up on YouTube, on the store at silversilkonline.com. And I put it in clearance because there aren't very many of these left. I believe I've only got 10 3-foot spools. So you might be one of the lucky ones to grab it while you can at a discounted rate. I didn't have enough beads to make any more kits, but I did have some of this pipe chain left over. So if you guys love this project and its palette and wanted some sparkly pipe chain that I may or may not create, this one's called Ember. Yeah, I might not create it down the road. We'll see. We'll see how it is. Still available there. And then secondly, I actually found another stash of pipe chain that is Pearlesque in my stuff. So I had this knitted about, maybe about 5 or 6 months ago, and it's just been sitting in my inventory of stuff. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to get my act together, and I'm going to make it available for you guys. So I went ahead and uploaded it to the website in the clearance section, and ended up just having it for sale. So I may or may not make this down the road. It might be a prototype as of now, but I want to know what you guys think about it. And if you do pick some up and post it to the Silkies group, I want to see what you make out of it and if I should make it in other colors. Right now, this is in the bronzite and it's super glittery. But there it is. That's the two new things that I have in the clearance section. You can also grab the Great Bead Extravaganza kit that I have now for sale as well. I don't even know how I got this out there so quickly, but I pulled it together this morning and definitely just got it out there and ready for you guys. For those of you that want to join me on the Great Bead Extravaganza, I'll be doing a demo there for that kit. There aren't very many of those. There's only 30 units, so some lucky people are going to be able to grab it. But not everybody, sadly, because that's all I had. All right, let's get to today's project. So what I'm going to do is cut up my pipe chain because you get a full 3-foot spool, which looks like this, and you're going to chop it up into little pieces, right? These pieces can be anywhere from 1 inch, as I have here, all the way to 2 to 3 inches, which I have here. So you kind of just want to vary your sizes, and I sort of just ended up cutting up the other half of my pipe chain into all these little fun small bits. So you can kind of alternate them too if you want to. One small, one large, one small, one large, and then maybe a couple small at the end as such. And that way you know that beads are going to go in between, and you can kind of just vary the beadwork from there. The first thing I'm going to do is grab my chain nose pliers, which I need to grab for my stuff up here. Actually, I'm going to grab my chain nose and my round nose pliers. So here we go. I'm going to keep those off to the side. I'm going to grab my round nose pliers, and I'm going to go ahead and curl one end into a P-shaped loop. Now, there is really no trick to do this. You just have to have a very strong grip on it. But all I'm going to do is a P-shaped loop as such. I don't want to bend it back or do anything extra to this. So I like this exactly where it is, and it's going to fall quite nicely on the bracelet. Whenever we do the other end, we'll make a Q shape, so that way it sort of faces the opposing direction, and it'll kind of look cool at the end. Just a nice little design touch. So I'm going to keep these separate as best as I can. Once the bracelet starts to fill up with beads and with pipe chain, it'll kind of just keep itself separate. All right, the first thing I want to do is grab my short pipe chain, and I'm just going to go ahead and string that right through. You can cut this stuff anywhere on the chain, and it's not going to fray or unravel or anything like that because of its knitted wire technology, and the fact that it is made out of wire just makes it super versatile to use. So I just love it, and you can absolutely just cut it up into lots of pieces and bead between it to your heart's content. So let's start with a fun little pattern here. So I got a bunch of spacers. So I wonder if I just start to string on a combination of small beads and spacers in between. I kind of get this really cool, like almost forest mushroomy kind of a texture. I have it on this bracelet here. So I just want to replicate that. Okay, so that looks good. I could keep going and use up all my spacers, but I want to make sure I balance everything out. And so I'm just going to do things in short snippets as I do my beadwork here, just so that I know I'm balancing out all of my elements correctly. Okay, I'm going to string on my other short one here. And at the same time, you know what? Let's go ahead and string on this cool little bronze bead here that's faceted. That looks really good. We'll string on a large piece of silver silk. Do you see how easy that's like? It's taking no time to string these, and you can really work up a great bracelet in minutes. So I have a lot of pipe chain, and I think I want to do more beading now. So what I can do is offset some of that by adding in a lot of larger beads and maybe spacing some of these in between it. You could even do a pattern if you wanted to, of maybe like, let's see here. Maybe we do a large faceted 8mm crystal followed by a 6mm and then another 4mm. And maybe we do that a few times just for kicks. What I love about a good bead soup is that there are no rules. You make your own rules. Ah, that's just so pretty. I love that light color scheme so much. Okay, let's do that again. Awesome. So now I've got a pretty good amount of beadwork there. Okay, that looks really good. Perfect. You see how this is all starting to balance out as I'm starting to do this. So when I add my pipe chain, I'll do some more beading to kind of give this space a little bit more excitement and interest. So let's do a short one, and I'm going to put on one bead, and then I'm going to do a big one. What's great about cutting this up into smaller chunks too is that the larger ones, you kind of have to wiggle back and forth to be able to get it into the wire pretty efficiently. And if you're cutting it up into small chunks like this size, or just even a little bit bigger, it just really glides right on. That looks so good. Okay, so let's do some more intricate beading here. So what do we want to do? We want to, let's do these guys because we haven't done them yet. Maybe we just do a sequence of these. 1, 2, 3, Perfect. That looks good. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be over the top. It could just be a few set of beads. And then this all sorts of work, it starts to work in an orbit, which is kind of cool, as you guys can kind of see there. All right, and let's put another short one. And let's do this one. And we'll do a long one, and then we're going to do a lot of beading. Okay, so here I can add a bunch more beads. So let's do our pattern from earlier, in fact. So we have, let's do this. This is our larger crystal. And then I'm going to break it up with some of my spacers and create that fun texture that I had earlier. Okay, just keep going. What I love about these little spacer things that they're so wacky, but I think they really do resemble sort of that mushroom texture that grows on trees. I see it in my head. I just can't remember what those mushrooms are called, but yeah. Ooh, so Lori is saying, I am loving this. What's your concept on mixing silver and gold with a bracelet like this? Lori, you've talked to the right person about this because I love mixing metals. I think mixing metals makes stuff so much more fun, interesting. And I will say, because some folks are metal purists, right? They want to have silver all the way through their necklace or bracelet or whatever they're making. I kind of view metals as a color. When you develop your color story, you want to make sure that the metals that you're mixing, the colors, are very intentional and that they do give the full spectrum of whatever your palette that you're going for is. So for me, if I have a gold and silver story and I accent it with a few more neutral, not neutral, I guess, colors that kind of blend well with it. So like brighter jewel tones, fuchsias, teals, and even a navy blue. I think that sort of color scheme kind of works all nicely together, and it gives that silver sort of the backdrop, and the gold just becomes part of that palette. So I love mixing metals, and I can go on and on about coloring and using the different colors in different ways and stuff. So Suzanne is saying I only got 2 curved spacer beads. Well, these were all different, Suzanne. So you may have to get a little creative because my mix is going to be different from all the other mixes that you guys have in your stash. But that was a good question. But I have no doubt that you probably got some other really cool beads in there that you might have to improvise the pattern a little bit. So this will not be a one-for-one kit, that's for sure. I want you guys to sort of expand your horizons by really figuring out the design that works for you with the beads that you have and seeing what wonderful stuff you guys can come up with. I think that this project is quite versatile for that. Again, just that power of that bead mix. You just never know what you're going to come out with, and you will truly have one of a kind. So I'm excited to see what you do come up with because it would be so different from mine. And also, would you be using the entire set of coils at once, or would you cut it up? I don't even know. Because I had wondered about like even just doing a full like 10 loop and making it like a super giant cuff, but um, that might be over the top. And yes, my friend Emily from Motorcrafts is, and I can never pronounce, is it lichens? I think that's what it is on trees. And yes, that's what it reminds me of. All right. Yeah, so Mimi is saying when you talk about mixing the metals, it can be loud or soft. That's so true. Very, very true. Lindy is saying, I prefer irregular shapes, but can't always find them. I tried for wacky shapes. This is wonderful. Yes, I am down for the wacky shapes, you guys. Love as much texture and interest as I can get into something. I got only one of these in my kit, so I got to figure out something special to do with that. Maybe I sandwich it between some of this stuff, right? That's probably something that I could do. So let's do this. Let me finish this up. And I might end up having some beads left over at this point too, but that's all right. Sometimes that happens. You can either finish off with your pipe chain at the end, or you could just keep going with the beads, because I've got a few here left over, and I'm kind of feeling on a pattern, although I don't know what I'm gonna make. So we'll see. Maybe I could put these in between. And then you know what? I'm just gonna put that at the end because it's so special. And it's gonna be by itself. Maybe I sandwich that in between it. Something like that could work, I think. I could even put one of these wood ones between it. Oh, okay, let's give it a shot. And you know what? The thing is, I could add some interest over here anyway with some extra beading. And if you do have these special beads that you want to kind of line up in a certain way, your bracelet could become really bespoke and conversational. And I think it'd be just so fun to wear, especially if you do end up with 10 coils of pipe chain. There we go. Ooh, Angel says I would wrap it around 3 times on each end. Oh, are you talking about the memory wire or the coils? I wonder about that. Okay, let's do this. There we go. So I might have a few beads left over at the end, but that's all right. I mean, I got some really fun textures and some really interesting beads on there. And as you can see, it really doesn't matter what you string between it, because the cohesion of the pipe chain and the color palette is just going to be so cool and work beautifully together. So what I'm going to do now is, you know what? I'm going to finish it off with the beads. I think I'm also just playing avoidance and cutting the memory wire. Do you guys ever do that? And it is just going to be beautiful at the end there. I could have probably went back and did some more patterning, but that's all right. I'm very happy with where this is. So I had talked about making another, I guess in this case it will be a P-shaped loop because it's facing on the inside. I was thinking it was facing on the outside, but I think I went the opposite direction. Now the other thing I suppose I could do is just turn this whole thing around. There we go. Now I have the loop facing away. So I didn't know I could do that, but apparently that's a thing. So I'm going to make sure that my other loop here faces in the opposite direction. So I'm going to grab it in my round nose pliers and then just turn the other way. And now I've got both loops facing the opposite direction. So that was easy. Let's see. And I think Angel's got it right because I'm going to hang some beads and charms off of it. But this actually, the single loop seems to be pretty secure. I've had good luck with it. So what I'm going to do is open it up, scooch in my little bear and my Silkies Charm because I cannot have a complete bracelet without it. And, you know, grab the wrong pliers there. And I'm going to now work that loop back and forth until it's touching the stem. That's how you really know that you've got a nice, secure, seamless close there. Kind of hold it up and show you. There we go. So my loops are not going to fall out at this point. But that's really about it, you guys. Like, there's not much to this bracelet other than its bold creativity. Like, look how beautiful those look together. And you did get enough materials in your kit to make both, believe it or not. So I'll be curious to see what you guys do with your patterns and how you make the magic happen. So I'm going to scroll real quick to see if there are any questions that you guys might have or comments. Ooh, we got a friend from the Great Bead Extravaganza YouTube channel. Most of the jewelry that I'm wearing today is a mixture of silver and gold in each piece. I love mixing the two. You are speaking to me here. Like this is all me. I totally get that. I love it. I think that would be awesome. Let's see. Miss Jennifer, she says TGPE kit ordered, check. Extra pipe chain ordered, check. I really do appreciate the support. I'm a one-man show with two lovely ladies that love to help me out, Miss Joan and Miss Teresa. And I'm grateful for them, and I'm grateful for you guys. And you guys are just so awesome and supportive of my business and of this creativity. And my job is to bring you guys as much tutorials and projects as I can. This month, I wanted to focus on the workshop, which is going very well. And our next project here later today is going to be equal amounts of fun, because we're going to do the color spin earrings at 5 o'clock Central Time, which look like that. Super fun project, super easy to put together, and I'm looking forward to that as well. But I do, again, just love you guys so much. Thank you for supporting my business and my livelihood, and it brings me so much joy to just be able to do this in life and to bring you guys inspiration and ideas and just have a cool product too, right? So I'll flip it back to my face. I may or may not be wearing a cowboy hat this evening. You guys will have to tune in and find out. But otherwise, I think that kind of concludes my tutorial. If you have any questions, please post it over on YouTube in the comments below, or you can find us in the Silkies Facebook group. And there, if I don't see the question, Miss Teresa or Joan will bring it to my attention, and I will do my best to answer it if they don't have the answer already. Lovely ladies, I can't do this entire SilverSilk thing without them. So as I'm saying my thank yous, thank you to those two, and give them some snaps, y'all. Dav says cowboy hat. So she's in for it. She's going to get that cowboy hat. Sheila's so sweet. Thank you for sharing your talent with us. I'm delighted. And again, just if you guys do end up making these, please post them to the group, because I want to see. I want to see what y'all make with it and what you will, what your bracelet will look like. So I leave you hopefully inspired and creative and eager to create something with the pipe chain and SilverSilk. And I will see you guys again this evening as I'm going to flash our project one more time.